King David, in removing the lies that was actually put on King David, we have the outright. The outright, they have told us. This is what they told us. They told us that Ham was cursed, and we believed it. They told us that the black race in America is from Ham, and we believe that. They have even told us that Christmas is the birth of Jesus Christ, and we believe that. And the Bible says in Jeremiah 10:2, it says, "Thus says Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, and work of the hands of the workmen with an axe. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and hammers, that it move not." Now, I want you to really understand this, because this is one that cuts the tree out of a forest, and the Bible says, learn not the way of the heathen. However, we believe the heathen instead of God. Say it again. We believe the heathen instead of God. Even more so, they have told us that swine or pig is the other white meat. And Leviticus tells you that the swine, though he divided the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Are you following me? He is unclean to you. But who do we believe? Not God. Because many of us Israelites have eaten which is not clean to us. See, and they have told you that the garbage fish of the rivers and of the seas and of the ocean, including the worms and the sea roaches that is there at the bottom, is just like the trash can. It hovers at the bottom of the lowest part of the ocean, just like the trash can. And we sit there and we deal with that also. See, because it tells you, in all that have not fins nor scales in the seas and in the rivers, and all that move in the waters, and every living thing which is in the waters, they should be an abomination to you. Understand it, because it shall be an abomination. Verse 11, it says, "And that shall be even an abomination to you. Ye shall not eat it of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination. Whatsoever have no fins nor scales in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you." You see how many times he's actually telling you this? He's constantly telling you the same identical thing. This abomination. Abomination means it is most hated of the Most High. This is most hated of the Most High. So why have we taken this? See, we have to understand even how they gave us a description of a man. And we believe that this is what Yahushua or Jesus looks like. This is what they have done with us. even where we have a lot of our brothers and sisters, they love continuously going to these internet locations, and what they want to do, they want to go to the Blue Letter Bible, and they want to go to these Bible study tool websites and all this stuff and read commentary. Commentary. They like to, we use the Septuagint, we use the Concordance, we use the Strongs. I want you to see something. See, when we look at Rudy, in the Blue Letter Bible, it associates it with red. And you see it says of Esau as an infant. So they have the same thing showing red in complexion. Are you understanding me? Because more so, we went over to the Bible study tools. I believe that was the one that I pulled this from. It has Rudy. But you look down there, it says Rudy is the form taken from the adjective red and used as a term to praise of a human skin that is used in the Bible, Hebrew and Greek. Words are all usual words, red or to be red. Dark-skinned Hebrews understand what it's saying. Dark-skinned Hebrews found great beauty in a clear complexion. Rudy. Well, my friends, see, these are the same people that have deceived the entire world. They're liars. But I was brought to this in to show you what the truth is, what is going to be today. Because the alt-right and these people as such, see, they will alter history books. They'll alter the documents. You name it, they'll do it to prove that their lie is a truth. In fact, you cannot even find one covenant, not one covenant. One. Covenant don't mean nothing but an agreement. You can't find one that they actually kept. One. Not two or three, one. See, because the Bible tells you, and what they say David was Rudy, which is true. However, what do Rudy mean? See, again, the alt-right have no problem changing the books, dictionary, history books, and all these doctoral things to show you that themselves, to make them right, to make him look like them. For they said David was Rudy, but he was red, and different things, and Rudy do not even mean red. Then they want to even go more so Rudy, where they want to use red, and then they want to say he is a white. See, this is total confusion, and I'm going to tell you why, and we're going to walk down this street. We're going to get an understanding on exactly what's happening, because we need to understand exactly what is going on when we read this book. And this is why I always tell you, brothers and sisters, stay in the book. These people was out here, they are not your friends. If they cool with you, you're cool. But they are out here to seek and destroy, and to destroy his people. Because if white was cool, let's look at something. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman, whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. So what went on here is with Moses marrying an Ethiopian woman, Miriam and Aaron going to speak against him. See, they feel in many of us today. See, we like to feel we have the same weight, the same relationship that Moses had with the Most High God. See, this is where everybody love to put themselves on the same identical level as Moses. So, as they did, as we do today, see, the Lord told me this, and the Lord told me that. See, That's what they're saying. That the Most High is speaking to them face to face, and He's talking clearly to them. Is it true? See, they like to walk up and down the stage and thank you, Holy Spirit, and thank you, Holy Spirit, for this. Oh, thank you. As if the Holy Spirit had told them something that was clearly clear as day, to where they can sit there and then translate it automatically to you, and they done it. Belittling Moses and promoting themselves above him. But let's move forward. And it said, and they said, have the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? See, this is what we do. Have he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it. See, when the Lord hears something and he hears nonsense, this is what goes on here. See, he heard this, and once he heard this, he's going to handle this. So what went on, and now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. See, and Moses was meek, meaning one that in his virtues. See, meek in virtues meaning someone with humility, even more so meek or eloquent with poor. See, you can acquaint that with the poor. Meaning what? Let's look at this. Isaiah. It says, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove the equity for the meek of the earth, and he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips, and shall slay the wicked. Why were we showing this? Because the righteous ones, meaning the ones of obedience to the Most High God, word, because they will be the ones to mainly do this. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. See, this is why. This is why. We need to understand what's going on, folks. We have been hoodwinked on many things, but we're going to finish this out with Moses, because many people think that they're on the same level. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Miriam. Come out ye three into the tabernacle of the congregation, and they three came out. See, because he suddenly heard this, and it made him upset. And once he made upset, he gonna call all three down there. But watch what happened when he get down to it. And Yahweh came down in the pillar of a cloud, and he stood at the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. So what we need to understand is a couple of things that just happened here that could have went up over many of us heads. See, once he arrived, the Most High God came down in the pillar of a cloud, and he stood. You see that? And he stood in the door of the tabernacle. So now you're going to tell me, do he have legs or he don't have legs? Are you with me? See, his state of position is how he supported himself. So if he stood, how? See, that's okay, but we're going to move on, because he called Aaron and Miriam forth. See, he didn't call Moses. See, because he's going to get some get right with these two. And he said, hear now my words, if there be a prophet among you, I, Yahweh, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. He's making himself clear. Crystal clear. How? Because it tells you Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, and took tambourine of her hand, and all the women went out after her with tambourines and with dances. So we know clearly Miriam was a prophetess. And he said, when I speak to you guys, I'm going to speak to you guys in a vision and in a dream. And the Lord said unto Moses, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. So this makes it clear that we have a prophetess and we have a prophet. And the Most High said, if providing there be a prophet among you, he will make himself known to them in a vision and in a dream. Then you have a period. There is no but. Oh, but it's this way. No. It says, I will speak to him in a vision and in a dream. Period. But you have silliness out there. You have these Christians out there who will tell you, but. So if once someone tell you otherwise, and they say, but he or she is getting ready to lie to you. See, he is going to make it even more clear. He's going to get more clear here. Meaning what? My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all my house. See, he's a servant of the Most High, and he is most faithful in all his house. See, he's not running around like a child, acting up, getting spoiled. Give me this, give me that. Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. See, that's what they do today. But the servant who holds the ownership over another, see, that's what he's saying. See, a servant. See, my servant Moses, he holds ownership over him, meaning the Most High God had a possession of Moses' body, and he is going to speak against, and you're going to sit there and you're going to speak against Moses? Are you serious? While he's working in the master's house? Are you serious? See, he made this clear. With him, I will speak mouth to mouth, even apparently and not in dark speeches, and the similitudes of Yahweh shall he behold. Wherefore, then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? Are you serious? This is how I talk to him, and you guys thought that's how I talk to you? When I speak to him, I speak mouth to mouth. Even apparently, he's being very crystal clear, not in dark speeches, as he do all of us. Meaning Moses was very clear in understanding, making comparison in the likeness and the clearness with the Most High, when the Most High telling Moses. And this is who we speaking against when we sit there, thank you, Holy Spirit, thank you, Holy Spirit. That's what you're speaking against. Oh, the Holy Spirit just showed me this. The Holy Spirit just told me that. You have many people today say the Most High God speak to them this way, which makes them a fool, which most people, I don't know why you always say fool. You shouldn't be saying fool. Fool, he tells you even in the Bible. So if you have a problem with fool, you need to talk to God. See, the person believing them also, see, and you have the book, but you believe a crook. This is the problem today. Why? Because the anger of Yahweh was kindled against them, and he departed. He got so upset, he cut out. And on top of that, when he cut out, the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. Behold, Miriam became leprous. White as snow. We got a problem there. Why? Because Aaron looked upon Miriam and behold, she was leprous. They tell you leprous is everything else but this. Everything but this. She was cursed and she turned white. White as snow. We have a problem because this curse was Miriam and she became white. But however, you having them telling you you're cursed being black. Are you getting this? This is the silliness that they teach. And you have a book, and stay in the book. But what we want to do, we want to go to their study sites, their commentary, to keep this injection of silliness in you. Oh, Rudy mean white. She was leprous and became white as snow. And they want to say, you're cursed. You cursed. Who's cursed? But we're going to take care of all this today. See, you also learn another lie about Peter. They showed you this. You had a book, but you believed the crook. And once you believed him, you thought on the same level as you thinking as Moses. See, on the morrow, as they went on their journey, they drew nigh unto the city. Peter went up upon the house to pray about the 6th hour. So as Peter went up on top of the roof of the house to pray, Peter became very hungry, and he would have eaten, but while they made ready, he fell into a trance. Peter gonna fall into a trance, and because what the Most High is getting ready to do is getting ready to show Peter a vision, because he wasn't asleep, so it wasn't a dream. He was up. He went into a trance. He getting ready to see a vision. We're going to see this here. And he saw heaven open and certain vessels descending upon him as it had been a great sheet knit at the 4 corners and let down to the earth. Meaning what? See, the vessel descended unto him as comparison, it had been a great sheet. However, they would tell you it was a great sheet and it wasn't. That's lie 1. As it had been a great sheet at the 4 corners. But watch this. They got another lie in there. Where all manner of 4-footed beasts of the earth and wild beasts and creeping things and fowls of the air. Again, they're going to say all unclean beasts, and it says all manner of beasts. You had a book and you believe in him. You have the book in your hand and you believe them. All manner. It don't say all unclean manner of 4-footed beasts. All manner. All manner of beasts. This is the problem that we run through. This is why we have to understand what we're doing. Are you with me? Okay, we back up. We are back up And now we should be okay. We had to switch out mics. One mic went out, so we should be good now. And let me make sure. Okay. Yep. We are back up. We are back up. But what we have to understand with these here, where they sit there in this great sheet came down, why do they sit there and they tell you it was unclean? Unclean. But watch this. Where in all manner of four-footed beasts, creeping things about the creeping beasts of the earth, and wild beasts and creeping things in the fowls of the air. But then the voice came, and there came a voice to him: Rise, Peter, kill and eat. Rise, Peter, kill and eat. So what we have, then you have these Christians telling you, putting themselves on the same level as Moses, and it's a vision. And this was not done once, this was done 3 times. But they would tell you, this was clear, telling you, you can eat whatever you want. What do the law say? The law tell you no. But they say it changed. He tells you he will not alter anything. So what were they thinking here? But being a Christian, they do this. Being a Christian, they put themselves on this level. See, and I'm not saying Christian by just saying Christian. I'm telling you Christian by what it means. So say, oh, he really must be cool with Christian. No, I'm calling you Christian by the meaning, not by Christian. It's just a little bit cleaner calling you a Christian. But this is the problem that we have, because this was done thrice, and the vessel was received up again into heaven. So what did Peter see? A vessel descended like a great sheet at the 4 corners, and Peter, not knowing, because he's not putting himself on the level of Moses as we do, he had to do something. Peter had to do something. So what did Peter do? Now, while Peter doubted in himself what this vision which he has seen should mean, not eat, mean. Behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made inquiry of Simon's house and stood before the gate. And Peter had to think what this vision should mean. We had these fools, these Christians, they sitting out there where this sheet came down and he said, Peter, rise, kill and eat. We can eat pork. We can eat swine. We can eat crabs. We can eat all this silliness. This is the problem that we have today. Because who's teaching you? See, this is your enemy that's teaching you this. We have to understand what is going on, because the main thing, what we really got to remember, see, if thou doest punish the enemies of thy children and condemn to death with such deliberation, giving them the time and place whereby they might be delivered from their malice. Meaning what? See, your enemies is clear on who they are. See, over the power of righteousness to the Most High God. Meaning what? Meaning what? Because we need to understand this. See, for that power is at the beginning of righteousness, and because thou art the Lord of all, it make thee to be gracious unto all. Meaning what? See, we need to understand what this all is going on, because we made a covenant with him. And if we made a covenant with him, he made the statement what he meant. Now therefore, if ye obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. But who are we listening to? Who are we listening to? See, because we did it, and all the people answered together and said, all that Yahweh has spoken, we will do. See, we made the covenant. The covenant is clear. And we don't break contracts because we cannot break it. He do not break contracts as what they do. The covenant is with the Most High God. And then the first thing we say, we want part of that inheritance. And if you want that inheritance, you have to obey this covenant. Are you with me? See, it goes on deeper. So now, with grace, circumspection, doest thou judge thy own son, unto whose father thou hast sworn and made covenants of the good promise. Meaning what? See, this covenant of this promise. See, circumspection meaning nothing to deliberate in deliberation or consideration. So you can look at, with great deliberation doest thou judge thy own sons. With great consideration, with great deliberations. See, it's saying the same identical thing. Don't let this fool you. But they'll sit there and fool you into silliness. This is what they want to do. But it goes on better. Therefore, whereas thou doest chasten us, thou scourge our enemies 1,000 times more. So they thinking they doing something, but they going to get scourged, the enemies 1,000 times more, to the intent that when we judge, we should carefully think of thy goodness, and when we ourselves are judged, we should look for mercy. So the Most High God will chasten us. However, he will lay serious hands on our enemies 1,000 times more. 1,000 times more. For vengeance is his. They have continued to lie. See, wherefore, whereas men have lived dissolutely and unrighteously, thou hast tormented them with their own abominations. See, these men live without restraint, without morals, without manners of sin. There is a God unrighteously. They have created a God and built a God and built images of this God in disrespecting your God, the God of Israel. The God of Israel is what they have done. So what we have to do, they have tormented believers who keep the commandments of God using abominations. Meaning what? Have you eaten swines? Have you eaten sea roaches? Whoring around, calling themselves the Son of God, and now the Son of God, he placed a seed in Mary. And now Joseph is no one. But then they want to tell you that Mary is the lineage from David. And you only see a lineage in there. Just again, you had a book, but you believed the crook. See, the Most High God has sex no matter what, and he formed it. So what you want to do, you want to do all these lies, and then you want to sit there and say that he impregnated a human being. Well, you know, there ain't nothing too impossible for God. See, ain't nothing too impossible for God, but God don't deal with silliness. However, you will say he's God, which is your God is not God. Your God is just some man. But that's beside the point. So you don't understand the scriptures whatsoever. They're whores, and they want to make their God and our God the whore. See, they're like father, like son. And what's even more, see, they will astray afar from the ways of error and held them for gods, which even amongst the beasts of their enemies were despised, being deceived as children of no understanding. So they don't go a little. They don't go a little. But far away from error, holding on to lies, being taught who is God, is the God, and taught to direct enemies, being deceived to children with no understanding. Absolutely none. And then they want to tell you things and believe it. They want to tell you Easter is Passover. He died on Friday, raised up on Sunday, and there was 3 days, 3 nights. Do you understand the silliness that they're teaching you? This is all they done told you Christmas and you believed it. They using elves and it was called crumpets. And you believed it. Many people got this Valentine's Day, which the little bitty man, that's Nimrod. But you believe that it's Valentine's Day. You got the ones coming up, Mother's Day, and Mother's Day coming up. Is it tomorrow? I think it is tomorrow. And Mother's Day coming up, but you done forgot. See, you had a book, but you believe in a crook. Meaning what? See, because as you believe in what's getting ready to go down, I believe it's tomorrow. Let's look at this mother. See, if you have on her forehead, what's the name written? Mystery Babylon, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. This is who you're celebrating. This is who many people want to celebrate. Well, I'm celebrating my mother tomorrow. No, I know I'm doing the day. No, this is who you're celebrating. Why? Mystery Babylon, mystery confusion the great, have confused you so much you think you're celebrating your mother and you're actually celebrating this one. This is the problem. So, and she's going to be drunken with you. Meaning what? Meaning this. And we saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. Blood don't mean nothing but the life. So she was drunken with the life of the saints and with the life of the martyrs of Jesus. Meaning what? These people thought they had the right one and they didn't. Christians, you got the wrong one. You have the wrong one. Meaning what? You sitting there going after one and you don't have him. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. He sat there and just this one ain't no joke. This is the problem that's going on today. Meaning what? See, your daddy Satan is who you are. See, you have your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, but because there is no truth in him, when he speak a lie, he speaketh of his own. He is a liar and the father of it. See, your mother a harlot, the whore of whores. See, your father is a liar of liars because he's the creator of lies. They keep these things going on. Meaning what? He's pimping you with his own wife. What? That's the spirit. That's his spirit that he's got in you. This is the problem. And because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. Many of you are not going to believe this. Many of you guys are going to hold on to these other lies. See, and what they did, because it's not the truth and the liar of the devil, he took your book and removed over 90% of the truth to keep you entangled in the lie. They even did what they call out there the slave Bible. They took it and took out 90% of the book and gave it to you. They had people who took the book and then they called it, we gonna canon. So now they're gonna sit there, well, God, we don't know. We gotta read your book. And as we read your book, and if it don't feel expired, if it don't hit me good, we can't canon the book. We not gonna. This is what they have done. They have taken your book down to where it's down to now 66 books, and they want to remove more. They want to remove Revelations, Jude, Hebrews. They want to get rid of many of these books in there so they can keep the lie. But now they want to tell you the Apocrypha, and you got these people out here where we got these brothers out, well, no, I don't really believe in the Apocrypha. Well, it's good historic. No, guess what? You don't believe in the book. You believe in the lie. When you come, you knock at his door, he's going to tell you he don't know who you are. See, they telling you that these are their church fathers with the books and telling you what is God inspired, what is not. That makes no sense. You got men who this book wasn't even written to telling you what they think is God inspired and what is not. See, do you think we'll never discover this truth? See, they hate us, but they even want all your features. They want your lips, they want your hair, they want your skin color, they want your bill. You name it, they want it. They want to strip you of everything. See, this is as with David. So we need to look at some of their history to where now we can look at King David. See, because he was ruddy. Meaning what? See, they're going to tell you he was white, and as I showed you, they got many things showing you what it is. Or is it something else? Let's look at this. Then Jesse made Shema to pass by. And he said, neither have Yahweh chosen this. So Samuel had Jesse's sons to pass by him so he can look who was going to become a king. And he had one of his sons, the last one was Shema. He told him to pass by and see whether he's going to choose him. Shema said, he ain't it. This ain't it. We'll just move forward. So again, Jesse made 7 of his sons pass before Samuel, and Samuel said unto Jesse, Yahweh have not chosen these. He ain't chosen these. So why did the Most High bring me here? Because he brought me here for a reason. Why is the Most High not choosing these? And Samuel said to Jesse, is there all thy children? Because he know the Most High not going to send him there for no reason. Is that all thy children? And he said, there remaineth yet the youngest. It's the youngest. And behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Samuel said unto Jesse, send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither. See, we're not going to rest until he get here. See, all the children, Jesse said, but this one remain. See, he's the youngest one. He's the one keeping the sheep. Now, this don't make no sense, as we're going to find out later. However, this is the youngest, and he keeping the sheep. And Samuel wanted to see this one. So, he was hyped up. Because the Most High, he sent him there for a reason. So if he sent him there for a reason and none of them passed, was it? He knew, oh, I ain't sitting down for this one. I'm looking for this one to come through here, and he gonna be the bomb. Big, huge dude, this and that. But let's look at this. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy. Please write that down. Write that down, because we're going to find out something about the problem, because the Arkwright says this is something else. And with all of a beautiful countenance. So what we know, he was ruddy. He was ruddy. And with all beautiful countenance. So he was ruddy, and he was, what women want to say, y'all say he was eye candy. That was y'all eye candy. So you can say that if you want to put that in there, you put it in there that way. So why? Because it says, and goodly to look to. So y'all liked him. So when women seen him, they say, hey, he's eye candy. We'll just leave it at that. And Yahweh said, arise, anoint him. Now, he knew something was going on. So we know this ruddy can't mean white. Why? Because we're going to look at something. Numbers 12 and 10. And we're going to get down to the bottom of this. And the cloud departed off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. So if Rudy meant white, why did he make her leprous? Think about that. Think about that, because that's the confusion that they got. This is the confusion of the Rudy. See, but we got to dig deeper and get some background, and we're going to find out some stuff about David. And as we find out stuff about David, we're going to find out some stuff about Rudy. Because they keep and they continually lie to you. They lie and they lie and they continue to lie. And we need to find out what is going on with this Rudy. Let's look at this. Let's get some history. Now the Philistines gathered together their armies to battle, and were gathered together in Shakol, which belongeth to Judah, and pitched between Shakol and Azekah and Ephes-dammim. And I don't know why I always mix that up, but it's Ephes-dammim. So what happened? We're gonna see this. And Saul and the men of Israel will gather together and pitch the valley of Ethel, and set to battle in array against the Philistines. So Saul was in the valley of Ethel to go against these Philistines. But there's some stuff that went down. And the Philistines stood on the mountain on one side, and Israel stood on the mountain on the other side. And there was a valley between them. So these valleys, so we standing on one side, they standing on another side, and we ready to go to battle. And the problem kicked in. There came out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits in a span. Now, they're going to tell you another lie. They're going to say he was 9 feet tall. Part true. But they're telling you a lie. Why? Because they don't know what all this means. Span only means 6 inches. So he was 6 cubits in a span. He was 9 feet, and the correction now is 6 inches tall. So he was 9'6". He was a monster. I ain't talking about in looks or anything. I'm just, this dude was huge. I'm 6'2". I'm walking up to a man, he's 9'6". This is Goliath. I look at him, I might get in a part shot, and that's it. But it gets better. In his helmet of brass, so we know his brass was upon his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail, and weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of brass. So we know brass and gold weight different. So we know this was more than 150 pounds. Just his armor. We got problem. This dude got on this much weaponry, just walking around with it like it's a t-shirt. But it gets better. And his greaves of brass upon his legs, and a target of brass between his shoulders. Meaning what? We're going to break all this down. The greaves of honor mean the shanks of his legs on what it was, on where he had it at. So it's the shank of the leg. So when you look on his thigh area, he had it even there. So from his thigh area down to his knees was brass also. That's what that greaves is. But it gets even better. In the staff of his spear was like a weaver's beam, and his spearhead weighed 600 100 shekels of iron, which iron weighed different than gold, weighed different than brass, and one bearing his shield before him. Now, again, the spear was 600 shekels in weight, about 18 pounds. 18 pounds. Think about that. The head of the spear was 18 pounds. Just the weight of it alone will outweigh most men. But it gets better. And he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel, and said unto them, why art thou come out to set your battle in array? Goliath talking trash. Am I not a Philistine? Now he's talking more trash. And you servants to Saul, you choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. You think this man ain't talking trash? Now Goliath cried out and said, and we're going to unravel some of this. So he's telling you, you guys come out in order. See, that array don't mean nothing but an order. So he come out to your battle in order. This is what he's talking. He sitting there and he's checking us. He's checking our forefathers. He's checking our uncles. He's checking our cousins. Goliath. But he gets better. If he's able to fight me, providing he be able. He said, he looking at us, even if you're able to fight me, let alone and kill me, then we will be your servant. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall ye be your servants and serve us. Do you see how much trash this man is talking? He come out to all our men as if we can't deal with it and let alone. Now we got all our men out here and you got one man talking this trash. Israel, come out and play. This is him. This is him. And if you kill him, then his people will be your servants. This is the trash that they taught. And the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Defy means challenge. So he challenged the army of Israel this day, give me a man that we may fight together. I'm challenging you chumps. Seeing what you guys gonna do. What's up? This is Goliath. He come out here 9-6 challenging us. And what did we do? And when Saul and all Israel, when Saul, see all my forefathers, uncles and cousins, same as many of you guys, all heard those words of the Philistines, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. Are you serious? Saul and all the Israelites heard the words of the Goliath and was disheartened. In fact, afraid, not afraid, they was very afraid. They was greatly afraid. Why? Because he was 9'6". His armor weighed more than some men. In the head of his spear was even over 15 pounds, 16 pounds. It was really right at 18 pounds heavy. This is what we're dealing with. This is the history you need to know. Now, David was the son of the Ephraimite of Bethlehem, Judah. Now, you have some more people going to tell you some more silliness, saying, well, oh, he was Ephraimite. No, he wasn't. Understand what the Bible said. And it said, but we're going to clear that. Whose name was Jesse, who had 8 sons. So we now know that David was the youngest of 8. And the men went among them was the old, and the men went among men for an old man in those days of Saul. So, when Jesse an Ephraimite, No. He's telling you a location. The son of that Ephraimite of. Meaning what? Let's look at this. Micah 5:2. But thou, Bethlehem Ephraimite, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, because that's where they lived. When out thee shall he come forth unto me and be ruler of Israel? So what we have to get and really understand, we're talking about a location. This is the foolishness that they pull. This is why they write you the commentaries. To keep you in silliness. See, but it gets better than that. And the three eldest sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to battle. And the names of the three sons went out to battle was who? Halahab. He's the firstborn. Then we had Abinadab. And then we had Shema. See, these are the three who follow Saul. But David, being the youngest, see, David was the younger of the three sons that follow Saul. So we're going to see other things that happened, but David went in return from Saul to feed his father's sheep of Bethlehem. He's the youngest. He's the kid. This is what was going on. But we're going to get some more down there. And the Philistines drew near in the morning and the evening and presented himself 40 days. So 40 days they had to deal with this. Who? The army of Israel. They dealing with this. And they sitting there and they fighting, but they don't want to get too close because they know Goliath is over there. And they afraid of him. You seeing the silliness. You fighting to death, but you're afraid of Goliath. So y'all keeping y'all distance. Because all you got to do is show up. But it gets better. And Jesse said to David, his son, take now for thy brother an ephah of this parched corn and these 10 loaves and run to the camp to thy brethren. So David, father, gave him some food to take to his brothers while they in battle. Keep them cheered up. Because David, you know, he want David to see what's going on. And carried he 10 cheeses unto the captain of their thousands, and look how thy brethren fare, and take their pledge. So he's telling him, hey, so I want you to go, David, and I want you to see how they're doing, how they're getting along, and how they paying they pledge, they debt to the war for Israel. I want you to see this, David. And learn something. This is Jesse telling David, hey, David, just go there, my son. Don't, no, just go and just watch. Just watch how they fare on this. But it gets better. Now Saul and they and all the men of Israel were in the valley of Elah, fighting with the Philistines. So Saul and the rest of Israel were fighting. And here you go. And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with the keeper. And he took and went as Jesse had commanded him. And he had came to the trench as the host was going forth to the fight and shouted for the battle. See, David gonna get there and he all pumped up. He getting ready to see his brother and he getting ready to see this war. For Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in Hebraist. So they put it in order. So it's in order right now. So this is what's going on. And David left his carriage into his hand of the keeper of the carriage and ran into the army. And came and saluted his brother. So he jumped out the carriage. He jumped and went straight over there. Understand this David. Little bitty David. But watch this. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up a champion. Here you go again. The same dang problem. The Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words And David heard. Now, didn't we just see this with the Most High in Numbers? When they talked all that trash, Miriam and Aaron, the Most High heard it. See, and David heard them. Well, that's okay. That's on another teaching. We'll leave that alone for right now. But as they spoke with his brothers and seeing how they doing, hey man, how y'all been faring up? This and that? Oh, we doing all right. We doing all right. Goliath comes out, saying the same words he said before. If he be able to fight with him and kill him, then the Philistine will be Israel's servant. But if Goliath prevails and kill him, Israel should be their servants. See, this is what Goliath came out and said. But this time, David heard it. Now, last time, everybody was greatly afraid. But David heard it. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him and were so afraid. They did it again. Eating cheese. That's what we called it when I was little. He come out, make this statement, and they leave. Aren't you in war? But you leave. They getting out of the sight of Goliath. And the men of Israel said, he has seen this man that is come up, surely to defy Israel as he come up. So he came up to challenge Israel as he come up. That's what he came up to do. But he goes on better. So as he came up to defy Israel, so he came up to challenge Israel, and shall be that the man who killed him, the king, will enrich him with great riches and will give him his daughter and make his father's house free in Israel. So they look at, have you seen this dude? And he's challenging Israel again. But if one of us kill him, the king gonna take care of us. He gonna give us the daughter. He gonna free the house of Israel, of fathers, and all this stuff. We're gonna get all this good stuff. But we gotta kill this 9'6" dude over there, who armor probably way more than most of us. Just the armor he got on. But it gets better. And David spake unto the men that stood by him, saying, so now David kind of upset. He said, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine? So what's going to be done to this dude if you kill him? And take away the reproach from Israel. See, because this is a reproach to Israel. This is just complete disrespect. For who is this uncircumcised Philistine? Who is this dude? He ain't even looking at the height. Wait a minute. Who is this uncircumcised fool talking this? Why? Because David going to make it clear that he should defy, he should challenge the armies of the living God. What fool to sit there to... Who is this dude? This is David. He going to sit here and challenge the army of Israel? Are you serious? What? Y'all scared of this dude? See, he had the same type of spirit as another. See, we're going to look at Joshua. When Joshua, it came to pass when Joshua was by Jericho. And he lifted up his eyes, and behold, there stood a man over against him with a sword drawn in his hand. Joshua. Now the man had a sword drawn in his hand. What did Joshua do? And Joshua went to him. Joshua, wait a minute. You got your sword on me? Oh, wait a minute. Joshua went over and said to him, art thou for us or for our adversaries? You think Joshua was scared of him? Wait a minute. I know you don't have that on me. I know you don't have this on me. Let me come over. I'm going to make sure you don't have it on me. And this was an angel, but he going to see what he said. And he said, no, dude. No, dude. It's not like that. But as a captain of the host of Yahweh, I am now come. I'm just an angel that's here to help you, homeboy. You can't kill me, but you got heart. You got serious heart. This Joshua walked up on the angel and he was, hey man, when I'm with God, when I'm with the Most High God of Israel, man, please, you better not run up on me. This is what these two have in common. Same as David said, who is this uncircumcised fool talking to challenge us? But it gets better. And the people answered after him and ran saying, so shall it be done to the man that killeth him. So they told him, hey, you do this, yeah, he's going to give you the daughter, all this stuff going to come down, and this is what's going to happen, and in your father's house, everybody going to be free, everything is good. That's what he's saying. They're all telling him what's going on. But David was hot. But he goes on. In Eliab, anger was kindled against David. Because you know this is his brother. See, because his brother heard it and he spake unto the men. And Eliab's anger was kindled against David. And he said, why comest thou down hither? What? Why are you coming down here? And with whom thou hast left those few sheep. Wait a minute. And wait a minute. Why you come down here, David? Why you down here? You see, you coming down here, you starting mess. You finna get somebody killed because you're trying to get somebody to go over there and mess with Goliath. So why you here? This is the attitude that he has. Now, here goes some keys. You write this down. So he said, those few sheep in the wilderness. Don't write that down. Write this down. I know thy pride and thy naughtiness of thy heart. You write that down. That's what you write down. We're gonna visit that again. And it said, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle. So his brother got angry because his little brother saying, you know, what is it? See, because David was full of pride and virtue and his naughtiness, meaning a state of being naughty, bad, or very arrogant. Strong head. To come down to see the battle. See, this is what was going on. But it gets better. And David said, what have I now done? Now what I do? I just come down saying y'all getting punked. That's all I see. What have I done? Is there not a cause? All I did, I just see y'all getting punked by this 9'6" dude, and y'all scared, and y'all from the God of Israel. That's all I see. I don't see nothing more, but this is what I see. But he gets better. And he turned from him towards another and spake after the same manner, and the people answered him again after the former manner. So as they turn towards and they sitting there and they telling his brother, however, something went on because they had to rehearse this stuff. And when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him. See, because they're gonna rehearse this. See, because they want to get this straight. See, because David got a little pressure on him. See, David was putting some pressure on these boys, and this is where they was having a problem at. But watch what goes on. See, this is where the beautiful part started going on. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. He's telling Saul, man, I got you. Don't worry about it. Let me go handle this for you. I got this. But let me go take care of this Philistine for you. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him. Man, you can't go fight with this dude. Why? For thou art but a youth. Man, you ain't nothing but a kid. And he is a man of war from his youth. Since he was your age, man, he was going to war then. He was putting in work then. This is what he do for a living. You ain't nothing but a kibble and bit. You ain't even a bit. You just a kibble. This dude is a killing machine. This is what he's telling David. David, that man, it sounds real good. I get it. I see you. You know, you have this aggressiveness that you want to take care of this. But David, you don't want to deal with Goliath. And David said to Saul, thy servant keep thy father's sheep. He said, wait, but first, our servant keep the father's sheep. And if there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. So he's going to tell him what happened. So David saying, thy servant keep thy father's flock. So as I'm keeping the father's flock, a lion came once and a bear came and took a flock out of there. And here's the problem. And I went out after him and smote him and delivered him out of the mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him. Wait a minute. So when this lion came out and that bear came out, oh no, you didn't. Wait a minute. I know you can do it on my brothers, but y'all don't know. I'm David. And you gonna come get a sheep? Like y'all crazy? I know he probably looked at the sheep. The sheep probably looked at him like, and David, I know he didn't do that. I went and grabbed him by the beard. You think you better go read up on Samson. He killed the lion. I killed the lion and a bear. You got to be stupid, lion. You got to be stupid, bear. Thinking you gonna put some work in and gonna raise up against me? Oh man, you got problems. Thy servant slew both. I knocked off the lion and the bear. And this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he defied the armies of the living God. So David clearly letting him know, wait a minute, I done took out a lion and a bear. Now my brothers, you dealing with something else. My brothers, that's why I'm out there. That's why they said so few sheep, because my brother was keeping them. That's why I keep them now. I keep them now because I put in the work. This is David. David sitting there saying the lion and the bear had problems. But you got a problem with this uncircumcised Philistine. And I'm going to take care of that. He's going to be as one of them. I'm going to slew him too. Because you going to sit there and you letting him challenge the army of Israel of God. So I got to take care of this. They not. I take care of it. David said moreover, Yahweh that delivered me out of the paw of the lion, because the lion thought he had it upper hand. But guess what? And out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of the Philistine. And Saul said unto David, Go ahead, dude. You want to tell you what? You done convinced me. If you done knocked off them two, I think this dude still gonna knock you off. But go. I'm gonna let you go. And Yahweh be with thee. Yahweh be with thee. Just go ahead and go. But I think we're gonna have a problem. And Saul armed David with his armor and put on a helmet of brass upon his head. Also, he armed him with a coat of mail. So he armed him. He armed him all the way up. But he goes on more. And David girded with the sword upon his armor, and he had essayed to go, for he had not proved it. Are you serious? So David said it was not essayed. Meaning it wasn't tested. Not to David's understanding to where, he got to test it. That's all that means. So it wasn't saved to go. So it was not proved it. So David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off of him. David didn't prove it. So David told Saul, I can't even roll with this. He haven't tested this. This is David. This is how David is. He's not rolling with this stuff on. He ain't tested it. So David took off the staff of his hand and chose 5 smooth stones out of a brook and put them in his shepherd's bag, which he had, even in his scrip, in his sling was in his hand, and he drew near the Philistine. So David took off everything and went and got a shepherd's bag. Why? They tell you one thing, other thing. David didn't want to roll with that because David, he wasn't used to using those. He wasn't practiced with it. He didn't test it. He don't know. So David don't want to use it. But he said, well, but I use these stones in this sling. So he rolled up on Goliath. And the Philistine came out and drew near unto David, and the man that was bare with the shield went before him. Party getting ready came out. Because when Goliath come out, and when the Philistine looked about, he saw David and was disdained at him, for he was but a youth. He was but a youth. And again, in Ruddy, in a fair countenance. Meaning what? See, David angered Goliath, but David was nothing more but Ruddy. But he was beautiful in countenance. It's good to look at. Same thing, y'all women, eye candy. But this don't mean white, the lie that they teach. See, David was from the tribe of Judah, and he's clearly black. 2, Ruddy means he's very aggressive. He's very bullish. He's very confrontational, very hostile, and he can be extremely arrogant. That's all it means. Why do you think that bear and that lion had a problem? Why do you think? His brother said, why do you come down here? Why do you think David sat there and said, why y'all being punked by this man? Why do you think David told Saul, I got you. I'll go take care of this? Because he was Ruddy. Not white. The lie they tell. He was Ruddy. He became very unsympathetic if needed. Even more so in 1 minute, you'll see. But remember, he killed these things as a youth. See, David had a serious chip on his shoulder. You got to remember, he was the youngest of 8. But was a beast in heart. See, anyway. And the Philistine said to David, am I a dog that thou comest to me with staves? See, now why is he going to say that? We're going to take it. And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. Because he with staves. See, Goliath said, is he a dog to come to play with staves, meaning come to play with sticks? See, this is what's going on. See, he cursed David by his God. So he's sitting there saying David ain't nothing but a little stick. This is Goliath telling David. And it upset David, very much so. And the Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give thy flesh into thy fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field. See, now, we know what David is about. But Goliath don't know. He's not knowing David. When he telling David, come to me, and I'll give your flesh to the fowls of the air, and they're gonna have their way with you. So David had to check him. Why? David is Ruddy. Extremely arrogant and very aggressive. It's like messing with a wolverine. And if you ever want to see what a wolverine, I've seen a wolverine roll up on a bear. A wolverine don't weigh no more than about 40, 50 pounds. And they roll up on a 1,500 pound bear, and I watched him make a bear get up off that food. You can literally go Google that stuff and look at animal videos. You can literally see that Wolverine is nothing to play with. That's the attitude of David. But let's look at this some more. Then David said unto the Philistine, thou comest to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a shield. You see how David said, wait a minute, I'm just like this, dude. But you got a sword, a spear, and a shield. But I come to you in the name of Yahweh of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast challenged, who thou defied. So he said, this is how I'm coming. You challenge the Most High God of Israel. I'm going to deal with you. See, I will come to you in the name of Yahweh, the God of the armies of Israel. You challenge them, now I'm going to deal with you. See, you just like that bear. You think you big enough, but you don't know what you're dealing with. This day will Yahweh deliver thee into my hands, and I will smite thee. See, you think you're going to do me, but I'm going to kill you and take thy head from thee. See, then on top of that, I'm going to even take your head from you. And I will give the carcass of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God of Israel. See, once I do these things to you, everybody will know. Today, the Most High God will deliver you into my hand. Same way he did the bear, same way he did the lion. See, so Goliath, whatever your name is, Goliath, Gath, whatever you want to call your name, once you come over here and you deal with me, I'm going to deal with you. And when I deal with you, I already told you, I'm going to take your head from you. And then I'm going to give you a carcass to the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts. And all this assembly shall know that Yahweh saved not with the sword and spear. For the battle is Yahweh's, and he will give you into our hands. So he's letting Goliath know. Goliath's standing there looking at this little bitty man, and he don't know what's going on. So the Most High God said, he will always be with you and never forsake you. This was David. See, and it came to pass when the Philistine arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, and David hasted and ran towards the army to meet the Philistine. See, and he hasted, meaning what? He moved rapidly. He had on track shoes now. He's going towards the army of this Philistine. And what happened? And David pulled out his bag, took this a stone and slayed it, and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead and fell upon his face to the earth. So David grabbed that stone out of his bag, sling it, hit Goliath right into his forehead, hard enough to where it sunk in his head, and he killed him. And as he killed him, so David prevailed over the Philistine with the sling and the stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him, but there was no sword in David's hand, because he left it back into place. He didn't prove it, so David didn't have no sword. So he's up there with a sling, no sword. He got a sling, but he don't have a sword, because he's ever going to cut his head off. But he don't have a sword. So David looking around, don't have a sword. So David probably said, I left the dang sword back there. However, therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine and took his sword. So he said, well, we're going to do that. I improvise. I'm going to take your sword, and drew out the sheath thereof and slew him and cut off his head thereof. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled. So when David stood on Goliath with the sword and cut off his head, as promised, because he promised him he was going to take care of that, the Philistines saw this and fled. Now, back to Rudy, meaning very aggressive, or it can be overly aggressive. See, no fear. He's Rudy. He don't have no fear of anything. This is why he killed the lion, killed the bear. See, let's get some more background on David. They're like being Rudy, not white. See, there came to pass in eventide, David arose from his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon. Old David, but wasn't by himself, because Bathsheba knew what time he'd be up there too. So that's beside the point. However,
And David saw and inquired after the woman, and one said, so David knew, it is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Elah? Really? The wife of Uriah the Hittite? So he know this. So he noticed the daughter of Eliam. He know this. But what did David do? And David sent messengers and took her and came into him, and he lay with her. Now, didn't they just say, is not this the wife of Uriah the Hittite? They know that. David, hey, send me. Okay, we're gonna take, dude. Hey, you seen Bathsheba? Man, dude, go get her. I don't care. Go get her. Rudy, but that's beside the point. And he lay with her, and she was purified from her uncleanness and returned. So she was purified from her uncleanness. So what had happened is she was there for a few days. That's what was going on. David took her and lay with her, however, but she got pregnant from this encounter. So David was going to cover this up by having her husband to come from the battle and then have his husband sleep with her. And then once he goes back to battle and then she started looking pregnant, started showing, guess what? They'll think everybody thinks it's Uriah's child. It's technically not. But that's what they were going to do. But that plan didn't work out for a few reasons. See, and David said to Uriah as he came down to the house, he said, go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed from out of the king's house, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king. So this is what David was trying to do. But watch what happened. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of the Lord, with all the servants of his Lord, and went not down to his house. So he didn't go down there. He told him to go down there because he needed to get that trick in there, and he didn't. He kept telling him, go down there, and he didn't do it. Keep in mind, David, Rudy, because that's what David's about. So it came to pass in the morning, David wrote a letter to Joab. Now Joab is his nephew, and his nephew was actually running that war. He's one of the chiefs out there, and sent by the hand of Uriah. So now Uriah carrying his own death letter, which is crazy within itself. But you got to remember, you're dealing with David. David is not one to be played with. So David is proving who he is. So he wrote a letter to Joab, and by the hand, and had it brought by Uriah by his hand, saying this. And he wrote in the letter saying, set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire from him, that he may be smitten and die. It's David. Letter wrote right to him. Hey, this is what I want you to do. That's what happened. See, and there's another who was also beautiful in their appearance, and that was Rudy within itself. Let's look at this again. So, and it says, and we're looking at Esther, and it says that she was Rudy through her perfection of her beauty. She was Rudy through her perfection of her beauty. It was so aggressive, so assertive. You couldn't deny it when you seen it. And her countenance was a cheerful and admirable, but her heart was anguished for fear. So we're going to look at this. We're going to get some understanding on how this actually works, because this is the lie they want to tell you. So we go into places where they say, well, you won't go here. And these are the places I will go to, because it tells you in Songs of Solomon, it says, my beloved is white and Rudy, the chiefest among 10,000. So my beloved is white, meaning pure. That's all that means. It's telling you what it means. But in Rudy, mean aggressive and extremely bold and self-assertive. So Rudy has nothing to do with skin color whatsoever. Everything to do with demeanor. That's what this is talking about. Let's look at this some more. Let's go a little bit deeper. For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sins of Sodom, that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her. Why? See, we're going to look at this. The Nazarites was purer than snow. You see how this works? Pure than snow. and was whiter than milk, and was more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was of sapphire. Meaning what? Meaning what? See, a Nazarite is pure and snow, meaning the clearness, but aggressive and rude and ignorant and arrogant and everything else. Sin like rubies and polishing was in sapphire. Why? Because this is what the ruddy mean. Because we're going to understand what all this means. See, their vintage, their image, what we look like, is blacker than coal. So if ruddy meant white, we'll be way off. But the pureness is whiter is talking about the pureness. That's what it's talking about, which we're going to look more into and get the understanding there. Not knowing the streets, their skin cleaved to their bones, and it withered and it become like a stick. Meaning what? See, the image is blacker than coal, but people like to say they were starving, and it's not saying that at all. Their skin cleaved to their bones as black. So please, in the future, don't worry about what the lies they say. Open the book, and what they did, they opened the book, and they painted the images of them. That's why you see in many Bibles today, they remove this stuff where it says black or blacker and all this stuff. They remove those. Why? Because they hiding who you are. And then they want to put in ruddy, and ruddy don't mean red or white. This is what they have done. Why? Because they have laid open our books of the law, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images. This is what they do. They will cover up the lie. If they can take all your physicalities and put it on them, they would. They just don't want to be you. This is what we have to look at. This is what you got to remember. This is what you need to make sure you know. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until the time and time and the dividing of time. So please remember, if nothing else, Israel is who you are, and it's proven in Deuteronomy 28, 68, and 46. So find another people that will fit. Find one, just one. Find a half of, actually find a tenth of one that would fit Deuteronomy 28. Find one people that was sold as slaves, children was taken away, raped, being the tail over the world, never the head. Then you see, when you see that, you see an Israelite. See, but we have some Israelites who had changed sides, is where the problem is. And they roll with them. They roll with the heathens. See, the same thing today they do back then. See, it's nothing new up under the sun. Why? Because in those days, there went out Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathens that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So they're going to leave because they don't want to go through the issues of what being Israel is. See, even more so, they'll sit there and most white people, oh no, they ain't having sorrow. You tell a white person, any other nationality, don't even bring color in, say, are you guys willing to switch and live in my shoes? Not for a day, forever. You'll see that you won't see one hand rise up. Why? Because they're admitting guilt. They know you are being discriminated against and you are being treated unfairly. This is why they do that. This is why they will do that. They won't sit there and say they won't stand. See, because most people say, man, I wish I can be you. You see it say that, but they will not want to be in your shoes. So you have some of these Israelites who continue to persuade many And they do it through theology and become Christians. See, now you want to fight when someone calls you the N-word. But you let them call you stupid. And you're happy. You even call yourself stupid. Because that's all Christian means. You can sit there and try to change it as much as you want, but that's all it means. See, and then you're making a covenant with the heathen all around about us, all because you seen the sorrows that you thought that you can do it a different way. Another sellout was Martin Luther King. He brought you on a platter the sorrows on what's going on. This is the game that they play. So they deceive, their device pleased them well. Meaning what? Then certain of the people were so far wherein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. How many of them did this? I can show you many of them where they want to call these black leaders, and they shouldn't be called black leaders. They done went to the presidents of this country and gotten approval to do different things in meetings that you don't know nothing about. You have some of these same ignorant people doing it today who have met even with this alt-right president. You have your Steve Harveys and your people who have went and met with this man and won't tell you the contents of what was spoken of on making the people better. And the same thing going on today. See, you have these people who give one speeches years ago on the steps of Washington, D.C. But they follow and want you to follow the ordinances of the heathen. They want you to go hand in hand and be one people. He was that great deceiver. And now we have these where they have painted their pictures in our books. Whereupon they built a place to exercise at Jerusalem according to the custom of the heathen. And this is what they've done. So for us to continue in the customs of the heathen, we have others who did the same. Yeah, your Jesse Jacksons and all these others out there. You have these people teaching you that you should celebrate these things. That Rudy is white. That all the laws are done away with. We can continue to move forward together. This is the silliness we have gotten into. Because when you do that, you make yourself uncircumcised, and we have made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. So they made these agreements with sinners, and they threw out the agreement with the Most High and joined themselves to another God. If that wasn't enough, then one would go on with the power. And they had the power to do more of the things. So what they did, they got over on it and they did other things. So what did they do? Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to the whole kingdom that all should be one people. Really? That we're all one people. Really? We feel 50% of the jail system. We feel 50% of the jail system based on the belief in them. Based on what they tell us is the truth. And we account for 13% of the population. 87% is something else. But we account for over half the population in the jails. They shoot first and question later. You have to be twice as smart, and still there's no assurance for a job. In fact, that test that I just told you, Gentiles can be watching and see where they trade their life or their lifestyle and treatment for a black man over theirs. The beatings, the shooting, the jailing. Will you? I guarantee you each one will tell you no. So they're clearly aware that you're being mistreated. They're clearly aware that Israel today is in America. They clearly today know who you are. See, but their admission of guilt is in what they just did. Are you with me? See, we need to understand what is happening. See, because we have to understand the difference in the treatment in Israel. However, what he's telling us and what we must do. See, because everyone should leave his laws, so all the heathens agreed according to the commandments of the king. This is what they're doing. And we agree to this. We doing these things and we don't look at what's going on. Because of the sorrows that we encounter by keeping the commandments of God. So we don't want to leave that. We want that easiness. We want that broad road. So many of us agreed to the commandments of the king, of these presidents. This is what we have done. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. You're going to consent to that. This man you consent to silliness of worship, to dumb idols. Your God, you worship me, you don't have to do no laws, you just under grace. Do thy wilt is all it is. But just worship me only. On the day of the sun. In fact, it has gotten so strong, they have profaned the idols. They have profaned everything. They sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath. Why? And whosoever would not do according to the commandments of the king, he said he should die. So whosoever wouldn't do the commandments of the king will die. Because they're going to tell you different things and they're telling you, you need to believe this. They're making laws that later on that you need to be in church on Sunday, including closing stores and shops. They calling this the modest proposal for the day of rest. Sunday. See, ask the Indians how their agreement worked out for them when they came over here with these Christians. Many of them died. And then they made it, they can do whatever they want to do with the land that they left them with. And they never charge them. Now they're charging them taxes. Understand what's going on. They'll rewrite books to make you believe whatever you need to believe. They in fact found, if you was found with the scriptures of the Most High God, if you was found, so whosoever was found with any book of the Testament, or if any consented to the law that's in that book and not to the commandment of the king, that he should be put to death. So if he consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death. They're slowly implementing that now. And we have people out there teaching accordingly. This is the problem. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, so as many were found in the cities. So they knew what to do. The Israel. So they know what to do. They uncircumcised though. So every month they'd check, and they knew the best way to check. Check the sons, see if their sons are circumcised. See, I know we can't find if they had the books and stuff, but check their sons. Because their sons are circumcised, we'll know that they still practice in the laws of the Most High God of Israel. This is what they knew. So at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. This is what they do. They was bringing them in the way of the Most High. So as they bring them in the way of the Most High, and you start working in this way, and you're not doing it in the way that they want you to do, they figure other ways to do you in. This is what they do. Meaning what? And they hang the infants about their necks and raffled their houses and slew them that they had circumcised them. So because they circumcised and they're going to follow the ways of the Most High God, they're going to take the babies, put them around the mother's necks, and have them to walk around in the cities and then kill them later. But you're killing your baby while you're walking around. You find in the Bible where enemy have changed to friend. I need to see it. Show it to me. I just need to see it. Not for me to, I need it for me to see it. See, you have many of your enemies can be cool with you. That's fine. But you still remember who they are. This is their forefathers. This is what you really need to understand. This is why it's so important that you get this. But it gets better. And there was very great wrath upon Israel. See, this is a great wrath upon Israel. Changing the laws and images and killing and not keeping the law. See, now ingrained in many of as truth. Doing what? In this process of time, an ungodly custom growing strong was kept as a law, and grieving images were worshipped by the commandments of the king. The Bible tells you clearly, do not worship no image. But you have people, and our people, walking around with cross, fish, rainbows, you name it, they have it on. They get it tattooed on them. They even get this image of a man tattooed on their bodies. An image of something that looks nothing like it. They have David plastered everywhere in a whole nother image to push the lie. So then they sit there and tell you, look at this, look at the images, look at the images. You see, it's just here, it's white. You know he's white. He's Rudy. But Rudy don't mean that. They put it all in this. Why? To get you in your ignorance, not reading the Bible itself and just denounce the Old Testament. This is what they do. And they take it, and also in their singular diligence of the ossifier did help set the forwardness of the ignorant to more superstitious. So more superstition. So this ossifier is a craftsman and put the work of the superstition. Meaning what? Superstition. What it actually mean? What superstition actually mean? Is rhetorication. That's all it means. Meaning what? A person that's going to teach you something that basically just rhetoric. These are masters at doing these. Where do you learn this? You learn it in seminaries. Join into religions of faith, Christian faith. And all they need is an image. They need something for you to cling to see, to show you what it is. He died on the tree, but they tell you he died on the cross. So you say that they take a tree, cut it down, cut it up, make it out of a cross, and then put it back in the ground to hang you on it. When all they have to do is take a cross beam, which all the cross is, take the cross beam, cut that, nail you up to a tree, and put you on it. Because it tells you all through the Bible, he died on a tree. These are the silliness that we get into. For he, peradventure, willing to please one in authority, forced all his skills to make the one resemblance of the best fashion. Doing what? And so the multitude, allured by the grace of the work, took him now for God, which a little before was but honored as a man. This is what we do. We look at this image where they want you to look at this image of this God man, what they call him, and he's white. So every time you think about Jesus, you think of this white man. So when you look at white, then you look at them, you putting the connections to them. And it's not them. You look at the things of David. They teach you all this through rhetoric. This is why you do this. This is why you see this. This is why David, they say is Rudy, and they want to say it's white. They change the meanings to what they want to do. Look in the Bible and look up gay. They'll tell you gay today means homosexual. Gay don't mean that in the Bible. And this was the occasion to deceive the world, for men serving either calamity or tranity did ascribe unto the stones and stocks the uncommutable name. This is what we did to deceive the entire world. David White, calling him Rudy, means white. And it don't. Easter is Passover. He tell you don't worship trees, but you worship trees. They remove clear description and put another people in a land and tell you those Most High God people. And they still dying. He said they would dwell in their own land safely. Believe that they'll make a change. And they dying like other men. They get sick like other men. They get old like other men. You made them look like their images to Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, even Esau. Then you go to David, Joshua, Jeremiah. They don't like Idris because Idris drops the hammer on them, so they don't care for Idris and Ezekiel. They don't too much care for them too. However, they like to make these other ones white. For those reasons. See, and if they're sitting there saying color wasn't so important, but as truth comes out, all of a sudden color don't becomes as important. They say, do it matter? It really don't matter. See, that's what they're saying now with Yahweh Shai or Jesus. That's what they're saying now. Well, color don't really matter. No, it don't matter to them now because more of you guys are waking up. So the more you guys wake up, now all of a sudden color don't matter, but they used to make sure it mattered. See, moreover, this was not enough for them that they erred in the knowledge of God, but where they lived in great war of ignorance. That's where they want to keep you, in this war of ignorance. So those great plagues they call their peace. And they tell you, I have people that used to tell you, they say, well, this person had some disease, oh, they died? Yeah. Oh, well, were they saved? Meaning that they know their Jesus, this white Jesus. Oh, well, they fine, they saved. They call that their peace. This is the problem, Israel, we need to understand. We have people out there teaching that everybody is all encompassing as one. They overlook what one says about another. They overlook even Yahweh's words, and he tells you clearly in his own word, but he answered and said, I am not sent. I am not sent but only unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You see, it's not plural. It's not house of Israel and others. House of Israel and Gentiles. House of Israel. Period. That'll mix it up on David. He's speaking of one people, Israel, not the ones called themselves to Canaan, the Bible, who gave themselves the right to question God. He said his spirit has he gathered them. His spirit.
I'm listening.
And they want to sit there and tell you they checking the canon. They're going to read it and they're going to tell you if it's canon or not. There shall the great owl make her nest and lay the hatch and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures be gathered, every one with her mate. This is who's going to be gathered with her. Everyone that believes in what she's doing. But the Bible tells you, it's clear. Seek ye out of the book. It's singular. It's not saying books. But many of us are going to continually go to commentary, dictionaries, those Bible sites, those Septuagints, Strongs. They're the same one that you teach against, but you use their stuff and thinking they're going to talk about themselves. You don't know the silliness that you're doing that's in there. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord, singular, and read. No one of these shall fail. These, plural. None shall want her mate. You don't make nothing to this. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit hath it had gathered them. His spirit. Now you got these fools telling you they're going to read and they're going to tell you what's God inspired and what is not. So again, who are those men they call these church fathers? Those Matthew Henry, John Calvin, these idiots, these demons that have did this, and people sitting there, you got commentaries all about them, they sitting there, they telling you this, and they was evil from the beginning. Want to give their opinions and what they think, what the Bible is saying, based on what? On their opinion. How do you think they came up with David was ruddy? He was white. Because they painted his image in there. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. So the Most High God said for us to keep precepts, not asking us, but commanded us diligently, meaning the application on what to be done. Precept. So why theology? Inductive Bible study. Can you find inductive Bible study in the Bible? No. Can you find theology in the Bible? See, precepts is clear, it's concise. But inductive means this. So when you see the one they like to use is inductive Bible, we do inductive Bible study. It starts by reasoning with the conclusion already. That's what inductive means. See, inductive mean, again, it starts with the reasoning with a conclusion already. So whatever they believe, what they think they're reading, they already had that conclusion. Now they just need to make it true by when they do the study. So you're going to find verses to support the thought and reasoning. So you also have deductive. Meaning what? Reasoning for understanding scripture, meaning this. Deductive starts with a premise, a generalized principle, or better known for the truth or truth of a specific conclusion. This is what they love to do. Meaning this, it's purely, completely worthless study. Proving a theological really premise of your argument, theories and undertaking and teaching, which is all false. See, he commanded us to keep his precept diligently. So this is the reason why you have so many people telling you three gods. God had placed the seed of Miriam. That's why you have all this silliness. David, you got this silliness because the Bible tells you clearly, for precept must be upon precept, as he said is commanded. Precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. This is how the book is to be ran. Not using silliness on what they do. They can't figure something out, so what they do, they make it adjust for them. That's how David became Rudy, white, to them. And Rudy don't mean that. Rudy mean just being aggressive, arrogant, rowdy, or what sisters like to say, roughneck. That was him. That was David. I will meditate on thy precepts and have respect unto thy ways. This is your key. But these men are proud and create doctrines based on a foundation of truth, paint over the images, and paint their theories. Are you seeing what's going on here? This is why it's so important to never get caught up with what they do. Hold on to the truth. Hold on to your book. See, the proud have forged a lie. That's who they are. They forged a lie against me, but I will keep thy precepts with my whole heart. So in the future, studying using precepts, you have them saying in context. Well, you got to keep it in. Well, you got to keep it in context. Precepts are in context. However, to them, context means this. See, this is when you sitting there, you dealing with people who's don't have these scales on their eyes. Don't come here playing these little stupid games. So I'm gonna tell you what. When they say keep it in context, it's the discourse which precedes or follow the sentence or quote. Meaning this. That one sentence, it follows that one. That's keeping it in context. Meaning this. The passage of scripture which is near the nearest text, which whether before, or the passage of scripture which you just read. Let me say it again. I'll say it again. The passage of scripture which is near the closest to the text, whether it was before or after the passage which you just read in the scripture. Meaning this, the Most High God said precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. The Most High God, this is his book. This is how he says, and I will follow his instructions, not yours. See, because it's not man's with no knowledge. See, your way is completely removing Isaiah 28:10. Completely removing this. Here a little, there a little. Where? Because here a little, going to be line upon line. There a little, line upon line. In the line upon line, going to be a precept over here. Going to be a precept over there. But they want to tell you something completely different. So, for context, is one thing. Thou shalt find that Israel by name, the ones that's doing what he said to do, and they do it, had kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. See, we have many heathens out there that Israel. We have many of them out there. And you will find it in Israel by name, the ones keeping his precepts, including the same ones throughout scriptures being Rudy. Because you have many of us out there, Rudy, but we keep precepts. Many of us. Not some Israelis or Jewish or spiritual Israel. All nonsense. The same man created that nonsense want to tell you to keep everything in context and do inductive Bible studies. Go to the seminaries. But when he keep his precepts, they would keep his context using theology. Who? The heathens. They like taking words from 5,000 years ago and change the meaning to what they mean and understand today on how they see it, to where it benefits them. The same word, white in the Bible, is being characterized as one being separated and free from sin, being spotless. That's what white mean in the Bible. Being characterized as one being separate and free from sin, spotless, free of fornication, free of adultery, free of uncleanness, free of lasciviousness, free of idolatry, free of hatred, free of wrath, free of strife, free of heresy, free of envy, free of murder, free of drunkenness and seditions. It's not telling you in color. It's not telling you in color. However, when it shows the color in the flesh, you remember this is never when that cloud departed from the tabernacle, Miriam became leprous. She ain't came pure. She became leprous, white as snow. What was the difference? Obedience. Miriam spoke against God and became white as snow. Why? Not being pure. Her flesh was cursed, not Rudy. Her flesh was cursed. So remember when they say we're cursed in color. See, you see the light, they switched it. So now you will understand more when you read the scriptures who is actually under the image of the curse. It's not Israel. It's not Israel. We're making this clear. See, this is the problem that they have. See, my beloved is white and ruddy, and the chief is among 10,000. See, you're pure. Be obedient to the Most High God. You be white. You be pure. You're gonna be aggressive. You're gonna be somewhat ignorant and hard-headed or arrogant. That's true, because he's telling you this. But the chief is among 10,000. See, we need to learn to be obedient to the Most High God. And stop being so prideful and ruddy like David. Because David was completely ruddy. David is not one you want to play with. So what we're going to do, we're going to sit there and you need to understand exactly what was going on there to where we get much of this happening to where most people sit there and try to change words from 5,000 years ago. 5,000 years ago. And say, oh no, it means this today. Oh no, it means this today. No, it don't. Stop playing in other people's book. They have rewritten your history and put themselves in your place. This is what's going on. So hopefully you guys learn something from that, and as we continue. And the main thing is, next week we're gonna try to keep going through it. Same thing like I did promise. We did finish, and I'm pretty much done with the 5 books of Moses with the foundational precepts, which I promised I was gonna put in there. I also added some other things in there to assist you, because I also showed you the words that any complex word that's in the first 5 that was hard for you to get a hold to. I actually showing you what that word actually means. Back then, not today. What it meant back then, because what he said back then is what he means today. So I also did I did the people names. So I also did the names showing you what they mean. So many times where many of us like to name our children baby names and different things like that, you'll see what a lot of these names mean, which will actually assist them in that. But if anything that's in the Bible that was hard for you to understand, literally what I have done under every scripture, if it need to be clarified, it was clarified based on the precepts, based on the meaning of what that word is. So that's what's happening. So every word you'll know. So as you read the book, you will get full clarity of what's happening through there. Because what they have done, have taken every verse and they'll run you everywhere and they keep you in confusion. If that verse have clarity there, you won't see nothing there. But if that verse need clarity, I'll make sure you see that clarity there. That's what we made sure of. That's what I was pushing for. This is what we make sure of. So as we continually go, make sure that you do not fall for people to where you don't have to leave out of that book. You don't have to go into a commentary. You don't have to go into a dictionary. Because every word that has the slightest part that might not understand is clarified. That's something that we want to make sure of. That's something that I said nowhere in the world I'm going to let them have to go look at anything to try to find a lie. Especially how they like to go through and they like to do these other dictionaries. Same thing like I just showed you on Blue Letter and that Bible Study Tools website. They'll show you lies and they look subtle. But it'll turn you from the complete truth and have you looking at something completely different. And this we cannot have. So in the future, we'll probably be coming out, the book will probably be out in the next few weeks to where you can get it. And then as promised, same thing, people who have purchased the Lord Come in the volume of the book, which they should have cut that out because even if you buy it now, it'll be a waste. But the ones who have purchased it back then, you will be getting 50% off the book. So that promise will be there. But just make sure that we will keep to what it is. It'll remove you from using any other type of books. It'll remove that. So when you want to look up something, you see it. It's right there. You don't have to go look in the back of the book to look at what it is. It's right there in the verse. So it shows you exactly what it is. So just remember, so when somebody tell you David was Rudy, or they tell you Rudy is white, take it to that. And now you see why it says he looked a certain way. He was beautiful in his countenance, but he was Rudy. Letting you know he had a chip on the shoulder. He had this great thing on him, and what we really have to understand what David is about. David was not one to be played with. And David, that's why he was Rudy, because he didn't play with nobody. If he wanted to do you in, he will do you in. And you see that, so that's why it says that don't have nothing to do with color. But they'll try to mix you up in color, and that's where they throw you off at. So they'll try to take little snippets and they'll try to confuse you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one, and that we'll go through. And so until next time, I bid each and every person a beautiful Shabbat and Shalom.